Hi friends, it's Miss Ellen from the garden. It's been a long time since I made a video and I thought I would give you a little bit of an update on my garden. I think the last time I made a video I was just planting some of my plants outside, and now most of my plants have already sort of finished growing, but there is still a little bit growing here in my little backyard garden. So let's take a little tour. So here we have some of my different salad plants, mostly, that are okay growing in the shade. So here we have some kale and some arugula, which actually looks ready to pick for putting in a salad. I've got some garlic chives over here and some parsley and some garden sorrel, which has a really nice sour taste to it. Some more kale. So this one has two kinds. There's some dinosaur kale and some curly kale. And this pot here has the plants that I planted from the mystery seeds in my garden apron pocket. So this has been really fun to watch it grow. I've got a tomato plant here, which unfortunately I think I planted too late to be able to produce this year. But it has grown some flowers, but no tomatoes on it yet. There's some arugula, some nasturtium flowers, and a little bit of dill, which actually looks like it's grown some new seeds as well. In a whole bunch of these pots over here, I had a lot of basil plants, but as it started getting cooler a few weeks ago, I picked a whole bunch of basil and made pesto, which I've been eating on pasta and sandwiches, and put some in the freezer for the winter. This plant here is one of my tomato plants, and it has super tiny orange tomatoes on it. These ones are called Gold Rush Currant tomatoes. If I put my hand beside it, you can see just how tiny they are. They're pretty tasty little things. I've got a couple of things here that I planted for the fall because they like cooler weather. So here I've got some cilantro or some coriander. I've got some arugula over here. And then some of the summer crops that are just finishing up. There's some purple beans, some nasturtium flowers growing out of those drawers, and some calendula flowers as well. And then here I've got a whole bunch of tomato plants and a couple of other plants here. This one here with the purple stems, and there's another one over here. This one is called Malabar spinach, and it's pretty fun because it grows pretty tall, and it's got a whole bunch of these little flowers on them that might turn into these little dark purple fruits if they have a chance before it gets too cool. And on the other side I've got a couple of things in here. I had a cucumber, but that produced some cucumbers, but the plant is now done. But there is another kind of cucumber called fairy watermelon, which makes these tiny, tiny little cucumber-like things. I don't think any of those are growing right now, but the plants are still growing. And then also some beans. These are scarlet runner beans with beautiful purple or red flowers. And then the bean pods as well. There's a few more of them here and there. So even though it's a little too cold for the tomatoes to be growing much anymore, there are still some tomatoes left on my plants. You can see there's different shapes of tomatoes that are mostly still green and waiting to ripen. There's one or two in there somewhere that are just starting to ripen. But I actually picked a whole bunch yesterday, and I wanted to show you the different types of tomatoes I've been growing. So, these ones, I unfortunately don't remember the name of. They might be something called blush, but I actually saved these seeds myself last year, and I didn't know the name of the tomato, so I'm not entirely sure what they are, but they've been really delicious on tomato sandwiches these last few weeks. These ones are little sun sugar tomatoes. They're very, very sweet and delicious. This one is one of my favorites. This one's a garden peach. They're often a little bit more orange, but sometimes they're a little yellower like this one. I think it might need to ripen a little bit. It's still a little bit green. And what's fun about these ones is that they are a little bit fuzzy. Their skin is a bit fuzzy, which is why they're called garden peach tomatoes. I have these red ones here, which are a type that's really good for making tomato sauce. They're a little bit less juicy. And these are called nistru. And then another one of my favorites are the green zebra tomatoes. So they are a little bit more tart tasting than other tomatoes, and I really like them on tomato sandwiches. So it's been really fun picking these tomatoes from my yard all summer and seeing all of the different colors that they grow, and putting them in salads and on sandwiches and just snacking on them. So I hope that you are doing well. I hope you've had a chance to spend some time outside in the last few months, and thank you for sharing my garden with me over these past few months. Bye.